I was married for 43 years. My husband's name was Harold. We did everything together. He had a heart attack on the job. He was driving an oil tanker.
It was so hard. I mean, after I spent some money on my son and everything, I couldn't afford to hang on to their apartments.
She started getting lonely. She was by herself in an apartment downtown where she had lived for 25 years. And also she stopped cooking for herself. She'd have groceries, but she didn't feel like eating, what do I cook for one person? And we noticed, lack of nutrition.
The Greater Edmonton Foundation is a non-profit organization that provides housing to low to moderate income seniors in the city of Edmonton. The reason it is important for seniors to have affordable housing is they need a place to live and feel comfortable moving forward in their later years of life.
I still miss him very much. He's been gone now for 15 years, but it seems like only yesterday. Everything was fine just after it because you have a lot of company and a lot of family around you. But once everybody's gone and that door closes, that's the hardest part. And I just went from room to room and looking out the window. It was hard. And I stayed in the house for about 2 years, but it got to be too much. And I moved to an apartment and I stayed there for 2 years, but I found it very lonely, and my daughter talked me into moving with her, and I stayed with her for a year, but they were good to me, but it just wasn't home. It wasn't mine. And lived with another daughter for 6 months, stayed with my son, and none of it was me. None of it was making me happy.
I just didn't want to believe my husband was dead, but then it just happened so fast. It pushed the car in the ditch, and he died in my lap. There was no will here, so I wrote to different people in the government everywhere to say what happens to a spouse when one dies without a will. It's really hard. It leaves this surviving spouse really in a tight bind that she has to look after children by herself, a single parent, look for a job. And if you have a handicapped son, like I did, it's really hard. He had some kind of real violent mood swings, so bad that he started boxing me on the head and kicking, and his moods were really bad. And, I had to call the police a few times, and they questioned him, and I had to just sneak out of there, and I ended up in the women emergency accommodation. I stayed there almost about 2 years. I just collected my money and tried to save money, and I said, I gotta get out of here. So I got this apartment, and it was really nice. And I had enough money to pay for it, but then I found out I didn't have enough money to eat. So I had to go and pick bottles to get myself a jug of milk or a box of macaroni and cheese. I just had to keep my strength or my energy by finding some icing sugar that I had, so I would take some of that to keep me going.
We have to be able to respond and have availability for those who need the services when they need them.
A friend came over and said, how do you manage to pay all that? How do you live? And I said, I don't know, but I hate moving. He said, well, it would be better if you went to a subsidy. I can't, because you don't have very much left by the time you finish paying all that. She said, there's a real nice place. I live there, and you'll like it. So I came over here to Mount Wood and checked it out. And I really like this little suite. I told myself, I hope I get it.
People are waiting months to get into our facilities, sometimes years to get into our facilities. And when you're in the need and you have your parents who need care, you can't wait that long.
Grandma came into Virginia Park Lodge when she was about 80 years old. We really thought she was coming to the end of the line. We maybe had a couple years left with her. She was alone by herself, and we noticed that she was kind of not eating, not taking care of herself. So we decided that it was time for her to move into a lodge. And Virginia Park was the one that we picked because it was close to the family and close to where she lived. It's very important that seniors stay in their area. A lot of times they know people that are already in the lodge or people that will move in afterwards. So it's important. It gives them a sense of already being or already knowing people, so they're welcomed into the lodge by knowing people there already. The staff and the people were wonderful. When she got on there, we've seen a remarkable improvement in her attitude, her willingness to be around. They were like family. When we had the 100th birthday for my grandmother, they were all invited. And we had another 20 years of life, which was wonderful because not only did we get to see her, my children got to grow up and know their Nana too, which was a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Folks of my generation were very concerned about caring for their aunts, uncles, mums, dads, and where is that coming from? Who's stepping forward to do that? And GEF absolutely has a plan and is going there to make it happen.
I've been always around seniors my whole life. My dad was 55 years old when I was born, and of course, as soon as I really got to know them, they were seniors. My mom was living in one of our facilities for over 10 years, and my mother-in-law lives in one of the Greater Edmonton Foundation facilities.
It keeps you alert, it keeps you alive, and it makes you feel like a person again, like you're contributing something.
I have a real personal commitment to make sure the seniors of Alberta have a wonderful place to live.
Being independent and maintaining it is the best thing for a senior to do, and it's the best move I ever made. It was a long wait, but it was worth it, and that was the happiest day of my life.
Seniors have to be kept safe. They have to be safe. And this is a good place. It's like a family, here. Happy ending, yes. So far, it's really been good.
What we need right now is some capital dollars to help us with these initiatives. We are applying for grants from the province of Alberta to build these new buildings, but that provides only 65% of the dollars. The other 35% we need to come from the community to make this a reality. The more dollars we can get, the less money we have to borrow, and the more affordable we can keep the rents for the seniors.
We need to give back to our community and give to the people that actually built our province, our country. And it's a very worthwhile cause to make sure that people that do have aging parents, grandparents, to know that they're looked after and well looked after. It gives you peace of mind.
A great big thank you to GEF for giving me my life back.